it's Ashley, aka Yo-Yo Superstar, and today I'm going to answer a very common question. How often / when should I replace my yo-yo string? So the simple answer is whenever you feel like it. You know, if you want to switch up a yo-yo string, that's your right. Go ahead and do it. The second answer is it depends on the players. So some people will wait until their yo-yo string is gross and old or it breaks, and other people will change it up frequently to keep that yo-yo string fresh. But I replaced a yo-yo string yesterday and it matches my outfit, so we are going to talk about my old string and my new string. So the most obvious time to change your yo-yo string is if it breaks. So if you have this part of your yo-yo string, this is what goes around the bearing, so my bearing would go right in here. If that part starts to fray, or once you throw your yo-yo down, it breaks, this is what's gonna break. So if you see any alteration here, you should just replace it, otherwise you're at risk of throwing your expensive yo-yo into the ether. So the next one's gonna be a little hard to see on camera, but it's very obvious in person. So there's going to be a difference in color. So my brand new string is down here, it's more bright blue, and this top string is more grayish and brownish and not as cute. So as your string gets older, it's going to fade in its color. I use a lot of neon strings. If you use something like that, it's going to fade in color, so that's another way you can tell. The other thing is if you're just done with knots. So you can see I've got a really tiny knot on this string. I didn't feel like picking at this knot because the string is really gritty and dirty. It just makes it harder to get out. So knots, or if your string is getting really dirty and faded and whatever, it's not worth it. Just replace your string. String tension is actually also a good indicator. As your string gets older, you start to get more knots, you start to get more dirt on it. It's gonna hold string tension a little bit longer. We don't want a lot of string tension when we're doing slack tricks or anything like that. So if you notice a lot of string tension that you're not able to get out, your string is probably just really worked up, and get rid of it. Another one is surprisingly response. If your yo-yo is becoming more responsive and it's an unresponsive yo-yo, or maybe when you're doing your binds it's not coming back up as much, of course check your pads and your bearing, but it might also be the string. So if you've already tried those, change out the string. People are still gonna ask, but how often? This really depends on how often you play, how heavy or big your yo-yo is. If you have a larger, heavier yo-yo, you are going to go through string faster. If you have a really powerful throw, you're gonna go through string faster. If you use a lot of light floaty yo-yos, you might not go through string as fast. But really it's going to depend on the frequency of which you are using your yo-yo. If you're using your yo-yo every single day, the same one, and the same string, you're gonna go through that string pretty quick. Especially if you're doing really competitive tricks, you've got a heavier yo-yo, you've got a really strong throw at this point, your string is gonna go. If you're just starting out and you're like, I don't know how to yo-yo yet, you're throwing it really hard, you're smacking it against the wall, it's coming off your finger, whatever it may be, you might still go through a yo-yo string pretty fast. But if you have a really strong string brand that you use, for example, I think everyone and their mom uses kitty string at least once when they start yo-yoing. It's very hard to break kitty string. You can break it, but it's very hard to break it. If you've got a string like that, you're gonna be able to go months. You're literally gonna be able to go months without changing your yo-yo string. So for me personally, I yo-yo every day, but I've got tons of yo-yos, I've got tons of different strings. I replace my yo-yo strings probably every couple months. But when I do favor a yo-yo, like this ND yo-yo, this was my second yo-yo. This is when I actually started really getting into yo-yoing unresponsive and learning all these different tricks. When you find that yo-yo and you stick with it, you're changing strings all the time. I've even had strings that I changed after a week because I've fallen in love with a yo-yo and I've just absolutely gone at it. So no, there's not one answer of how long your string will last. Just figure out which brands you like, figure out what your strength is, which yo-yo you use the most and how powerful that yo-yo is and how powerful your throw is. Then you'll start to develop the sense of, it's time to replace my string. It's time to keep that for a little bit too. But honestly, like if you don't like it, if your string looks gross, whatever, get rid of it. You don't need that. You don't need that type of negativity. But remember, there's different things you can do with your strings. You know, if you want to make friendship bracelets, if you want to make, I've seen yo-yo string like balls like a rubber band ball. They've done it with yo-yo strings. I use it for cat toys, so consider recycling your yo-yo string too. Be creative with it and try to reuse it if you can, because we gotta save the planet. Cool. If you got questions about string, drop them below. Always be respectful in the comments and I will try my best to answer those questions for you. My name is Ashley, aka Yoyo Superstar. Thank you so much for watching. I've got a couple reviews coming your way, so we'll see you in the next video.